Hi everyone and welcome to the Pageant Perspective Podcast. I'm your host Candace Freeman, and on this podcast we go beyond the sash, unveiling stories and celebrating beauty. Today I'm joined by Keyara Da Gama. Keyara, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Good day, beautiful people. My name is Keyara Da Gama. I'm a 25-year-old from Eldorado Park, Soweto. Former Miss Eldorado Park, current Miss Egoli, first runner-up, as well as Miss Gauteng Exclusive, first princess for the year 2024.
Awesome. So you said you've only been in 3 pageants this far and you've placed in all 3 of them. Do you feel proud about that?
I do, actually.
You do?
Yeah.
And so, because you haven't lost the pageant yet, what do you think you would handle it if you were to lose, like not place in any way in a pageant maybe in future?
It would simply mean that I was not what they were looking for. And also I need to work on certain things, because it's important to realize your strengths and your weaknesses as well. But sometimes your weaknesses can overpower your strengths. So
yeah, that's true. So it's just a thing of working on
Yeah.
the weaknesses. So tell us how you got into pageantry.
So I've always wanted to do modeling, right? But people always told me I'm too short.
Yeah,
And I always used to listen to them, you know, not doing research and just like, okay, I won't ever make it as a model. But in 2021, I decided I am tired of listening to people. I'm going to go ahead and live my life and take a chance on myself. Because if I don't believe in myself, who will?
Yeah.
So that's how I came into pageantry. And I feel like my grandmother sort of pushed me to it, because I said that year I'm just focusing on 2 things. I'm going to take modeling seriously, and then I'm going to rewrite my matric. And that's exactly what I did.
Beautiful. That's great. So you put out those 2 specific goals for yourself and you just went for them. Like you put the world outside. You're like, everyone outside, this is my 2 goals. I'm focusing on that.
Yeah.
And since then, you've just been progressing very well.
Yes.
So you did this pageant you're talking about in 2021 is Miss Eldorado Park.
Yes.
And how was that experience for you with Miss Eldorado Park?
It was very nice and also very liberating. But also I discovered who I am as an individual. And with each pageant, I keep learning something new about myself. But I feel like with Miss Eldorado Park, it was it for me, because I became a powerhouse there and then. So yeah.
It was the beginning of something great.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So can you tell us how your journey thus far, with 3 pageants, what has been your highest experience? What has been some of your lowest experiences maybe in pageantry?
One of my highest, I would say, is it's not just about winning, but my highest in pageantry is the title I have won. And with the team I have behind me, I did so much more, and I didn't know that I am capable of growing beyond the box, because we have a tendency of thinking inside of the box. But with Miss Eldorado Park, I went to great lengths. I don't know who I was. Like it's still mind-blowing to see what I've done in my reign as Miss Eldorado Park. And then one of my lowest moments in pageantry is, facing, let me say, colorism. So that for me is not nice. Like even if it's between the girls or not just the organization, but people just acting some type of way towards you because you're from a certain community or your ethnicity is not as like theirs. So that's one of my lowest, because at the end of the day, pageantry is about sisterhood. And we should break the stereotypes that people think women can't work with one another. But then again, we are the ones breaking each other down. I feel like that's one of my lowest lows I've experienced in the pageant industry.
Ouch. And it's probably something you'd also like to change or see change in the pageant industry. That's nice. How would you describe yourself, personality-wise, before the pageant, starting pageantry, and afterwards? How have you grown from before and after?
So I was very closed off, and people would say, you don't look approachable. So that was me before pageantry. But when you are in pageantry, you get to work with people from different walks of life. And that it just breaks down your walls you've built. Because if you are serving the people in your community, you can't go there with a closed mind. because also the people we are serving, they are underprivileged. So lower those guards or those walls and just be yourself, because that's the only way people warm up to you. Because that's the only way I get children to just come and hug me randomly, and I'm like, wow, that's so cute. So you just need to be yourself.
Yeah, and they just see a crown and they see a sash and they just go wild. They're just like, oh my God, I want a picture, I want a hug, and it feels you cherish it so much. You feel so cherished. And I think that's a great thing, girls, they see someone that looks modest and beautiful and that looks like someone they can, look up to, and that's what they love. So because you're doing so well, I want to know what gives you an edge in pageantry, and what are those success factors that you have, like the success factors that give you an edge?
I don't know. I can't say it's a factor, rather. I'll just say, okay, I can say it's a factor, but I feel like it's just God, He places something within you, and when you have that certain drive, when you know what you're supposed to be doing, you won't give up on that specific thing easily. So I feel like that drives me. And also the people around you, people who encourage you, are your best friends. Like, I don't mean your literal best friends, but in the industry I'm in, you need to be surrounded with positive people.
Okay.
And people who will encourage you no matter what. And also staying who you are, staying true to who you are is also very important. So I feel like that drives me. But I'm also learning so much about myself still. And with this pageant I just did, like, I was telling my mom that I've healed from so much. And now I feel like my voice is stronger. So I am content with that. So I feel like that drives me, just like knowing who I am and learning more about myself, that encourages me to do even greater things.
That's beautiful. And then what's the most important lesson you've learned so far in life?
Failure is our greatest teachers in life. That's the most important lesson.
Yeah.
And I don't allow society to tell me that failure is a shameful thing, because they build us.
Yeah.
So the life lessons we learn from failure is very important. Because if we don't fail and we just succeed, what's going to drive us?
Yeah, that's true.
Because failure teaches you not to give up. No matter how foggy it may seem, but the road ahead won't be easy, but you are going to reach your goals.
Yeah, that's true. Who would you say has had the biggest impact in your life? It could be with regards to pageantry and abroad as well.
I'm not just saying this because they're my favorites, but the Miss Eldorado Park team, they really push me. Yeah. They push me and they are always there for me. Like when my family is not able to be there for me, they are there for me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
All the time. So they play a big role, and I can't say thank you enough. I always tell them, I wish the girls can just understand what you do. They invest in you.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you find pageants that are concerned about your emotional well-being, your physical well-being. So having a support system like that is amazing. Apart from my family, that's just amazing.
Wow, that's beautiful. Miss Eldorado Park really does a great job.
They do.
For someone that's hesitant to, go into pageantry, how would you advise them in terms of what pageantry has done for you? How would you encourage them?
I feel like people don't know the relevance of pageantry. They undermine the platform in a way of what it can do for you, rather, and towards your growth. So I would say, reach for the stars, and then you'll be unstoppable. Don't let anyone around you tell you that you are not capable, because you are more than capable. You are enough. You are worthy. So I feel like we look down on ourselves, and this is something I used to struggle with. I keep putting so much pressure on myself to be perfect, whereas people are missing out on who I am as a person. So I would tell them to go for it. You don't have anything to lose. You're going to find your why in pageantry. Pageantry helps you find your purpose. And that's how you grow. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you did say you were a hairstylist, right? So what advice would you give to girls, concerning shoes, outfit and hair and makeup as well, preparing for a grand finale?
I would say keep it minimal when it comes to makeup. because you want people to see your beauty as well.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Don't overdo it. And then when it comes to a dress, choose something that you're going to be comfortable in. But in pageantry, you don't want a dress covering your feet.
Okay.
Or a mermaid dress that will restrict your movement. So your dress needs to be appropriate, not too revealing, but it can have a slit, but one that's not too high, so you are able to move freely and do your turns. Because if your dress is covering your shoes or your legs, the judges can't see your legs. They won't score you based off your walk, because that would be hiding it. And then with your hair, I feel like some simplicity is key, because it's elegant. So you'll fit the look. You'll give the judges the sense of, that's a queen. I can see her already with the crown. Like, it's a complete look. She just needs the crown.
She just needs the crown. That's beautiful. And then what do you think judges look for in a queen?
Apart from being authentic, I feel like humility is key, because sometimes we ooze with arrogance instead of confidence. So you need to find the balance between that. Like when you're on stage, like, I am confident, but I don't come across as I am arrogant. So you need to be humble, you need to be graceful and elegant when you're on stage. Like every movement must say, this is a queen. She's humble, she's beauty and grace. So you need that. It's a complete package. So you need to find the balance between, I know it, for example, I walk very well. Let's just say I walk very well, and I know I walk well. I'm not gonna go there and show them I know I can walk. So I'll rather go and do it gracefully. To
almost make it seem easy.
Yes.
Make it seem easy. Don't try to put in those twirls too much there just to show
and
off.
Just be yourself.
Yeah. How have you experienced answering questions from judges?
This takes me back to the Miss Egoli finale. I didn't like political questions, and this time around, the Miss Eldorado Park team, they were helping me prepare, and I was telling Nazli, I need to prepare for questions, because if they hit me with another political question, and I don't want to sound insensitive towards anybody. So I feel like that was a stumbling block for me with Miss Egoli, where I wasn't sure how to approach the question, because we need to be mindful of what we say and how we say it, because it can come across as offensive, or rather make me seem
ignorant.
Yes. So questions are tough. So I would advise anybody, if you know you're doing a pageant, Google pageant questions just to give yourself a feel of what it would be like, and try and be neutral whenever you answer the questions. Not that you not being honest, but we also can't we can't make other people feel uncomfortable by how we feel about certain things, or our opinions rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then how did Nazli and them help you with the questions? Did they like read them to you?
They got questions, and then they would ask me how I would answer it. And if I answered it properly, like, that's correct. Where if I made a mistake, they would be like, try and answer it this way, because you might not know, maybe a judge went through this, or someone in the audience went through this, and now I'm being insensitive, basically.
I see. And then what are your core values in life?
Interesting.
You can think about them, because it is a very, like, it's a core question. It's like it's an inner question that you really have to, because if you answer it this way, if you say my core value is kindness, you really have to uphold that.
Yeah.
So it is like a question you can have to think about.
So apart from God, God is first with my core values. It's God, family, I'd say respect, responsibility, citizenship. It's very important to be a good citizen, even when no one's watching. I feel like those character lessons have paid off, and I was teaching them to others, and they have paid off. So those are basically some of the pillars of character. So I feel like that's good. Yeah, those are good values.
No, those are good values, definitely. And then preparing for a grand finale, we know there's the shoes, the dress, and that. But mentally and emotionally, how do you prepare for a grand finale?
Once again, I pray.
You pray?
I start with prayer.
Okay.
And I prepare to the best of my abilities. As I've mentioned, for questions, I'll practice for question round. If I do make it to the top 5. I practice my routines. I'm consistent. So I over prepare basically. So even if I don't place, like I know I gave it my all, but I am rather over prepared than under prepared. Yeah.
That's true. And then going forward, where do you see yourself going with pageantry?
The end goal is Miss South Africa. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like people need to hear, or rather, people need to be inspired by someone they can relate to more.
Yes.
Because they have this perception of pageant girls that your life is easy. You don't have no problems. You don't come from struggles. I don't want people to see pageant girls as girls who are just... There's nothing wrong with being in university. But what if you a girl that you're not in university, but you do want to do pageants? Let's say you're an entrepreneur. How many entrepreneurs have been crowned Miss South Africa? So that's the end goal for me. And my vision, I feel my vision is big, and I need to get to that platform. And with the proper guidance, I will get to that platform. But they need a different feel. People can relate to people more. In order to relate to people, you need to empathize with them. So if people hear where I come from, it's mind-blowing to them to hear that a pageant queen shares this much. Like I remember with my first article I did as Miss Eldorado Park, I did not have matric at that time. And I made it known, knowing that the whole community will read that. I said I'm rewriting. Because I want people who have failed. Go back, you can do it. So that was my whole advocacy. That's why I want to continue in this industry, because I feel like everybody needs to feel like there has been a queen that has represented every single one.
Every single person, even the people you would consider the lowest. In their lowest. So then that's what you advocated for. You basically said that I'm rewriting, and it's what you inspired people to go back. And I'm sure they looked at you, they were like, oh, this girl, she said it so open. You know, she was like, I didn't pass, guys, but I'm rewriting. So I'm sure that really inspired people. And in Miss South Africa, what would you be advocating for there?
My current thing, or let me not say my thing, my current initiative is to empower the boy child. Because we look at the issues we're facing in our country. It's crime. We have gender-based violence. Most men are in correctional services because we tend to think that boys don't need mentoring. We teach girls the transition from a girl to a woman, but who teaches boys the transition from a boy to a man? So I feel like that's where we lack. If we raise compassionate, empathetic men who know that compassion and masculinity are one, we are raising strong fathers. Women will have better husbands. So that's my advocacy now, because I've been thinking about it, and that's how.
I actually love that.
Thank you.
It's also something I've noticed with regards to masculinity and men not really playing their roles in homes and in areas outside of the home, you know, really being present and being good fathers and husbands and brothers and stuff like that. That's beautiful. So I just want to say well done on that.
Thank you.
It's something that you've noticed and you really looked into it. It's beautiful. Did you enjoy the podcast?
I did. I was kind of nervous, but it was nice. It was relaxing. It was like a normal conversation, just sharing my life.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Keyara.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure to our viewers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please continue to like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. We really do appreciate your support. From Keyara and Candace and the Pageant Perspective Podcast, it's bye.